Are we okay to start
Yeah,
now?
don't. Yeah,
Are we okay to start?
Yeah, we
Oh,
just
yeah.
can't move.
Okay. Oh. I messed
What
up.
are you saying?
Hello, everyone.
He tried to say hello just now. The hardest word.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cedar Squared podcast. I'm Zack, and with me, as always, is Josh and Steve.
Hey.
If you haven't noticed by now, we're in a new studio. Woo! Everyone's here now. Yay!
Yeah.
And there's a nice wood background. If you haven't seen it on the stream and stuff, it's very nice. You know, this room is nice for multiple reasons, but the biggest is air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice, very cool.
The other room was
It's not too
hot.
it's not too musky in here like it was back in the day.
They were best.
They were the best. You know what? I kind of want to move back. Why don't we?
Yeah,
Let's just move everything back.
Everything right now.
Yeah.
Move everything all back
Yeah,
into
fine.
the smaller room. But today, you know, we're just gonna be talking about a couple things. You know, Resident Evil's out. Village, I'm to be specific. Also, we have just a couple, you know, tidbit news, you know, PS5 stock shortage, etc., etc. By the way, how's everyone doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, how you doing,
Pretty
Steve?
good.
How you doing, Steve?
Oh,
Oh, you
Pretty
got
all right. I mean, I just got done playing actually Resident Evil 8 Village.
and
I'm not done playing, but we got.
he sped run the
Beat
game.
the game.
Yeah,
just
he
I
now.
beat the whole game
in 2
one sitting.
hours.
First try.
I could not believe it. He was doing things I never thought you could do with a video game, and here he was. But what have you guys been playing? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I spent the last week playing Resident Evil 8, just like Steve just was playing.
So do you call it 8 or do you call it Village?
I call it 8.
You call it 8. Okay.
They did that thing with the V and the 2 eyes,
But
3 eyes.
3 eyes.
I feel like I've heard every person call it Village though.
I know. Well, I mean, it is. It's both. Whatever.
It's whatever you want it to be. But I was just curious, like caramel.
Yeah.
Same thing. Tomato,
Caramel.
tomato.
Well, it should be caramel.
Caramel.
Anyway, so that's what you've been playing. Nothing else.
No, that was a whole good week of my life.
Go whole good
Yeah,
week.
I restarted. When I went through everything too,
Oh, you
I
went through
found
everything.
every treasure thing or whatever there is. You know, I did as much as I could in the first run.
Yeah.
And then I restarted. You know, that's the whole thing to these Resident Evil games is
Replay.
replayability.
I feel like I didn't want to replay 6 though. So I don't know if that's the case always.
Well, I mean, they did Mercenaries for that too.
I don't even think I touched that. I think like after I finished Ada's campaign, I was like, I'm done. It's over. I beat the game. It's over.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to touch this again.
I'm surprised you even got through Ada's campaign. That was like a bonus campaign. You know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even
And it
play it.
Yeah.
Because remember we did the co-op for.
there is co-op for that
Yeah.
one. There is co-op for
Yeah,
that one.
but
It's
you
like
know-
a soldier. It's like a random soldier.
It's like a hunk.
Yeah, it's a hunk. And all the like cutscenes doesn't have him or anything like that. He's just there, just
Well, you know what though? It's because when it first released, it didn't have him.
yeah. It was just a single player thing.
Yeah, and everyone hated it because the whole thing was playing
Yeah,
together.
play
with
together,
someone.
2 people.
Yeah,
And
so
then yeah, like well, here's the bonus
defeated the whole
content.
purpose. But Resident Evil 8, on the other hand,
It's not co-op, so
Yeah.
it's terrible.
it's,
Oh damn!
I'm just kidding. I'm
That
kidding.
you take right here, right now.
I know. I'm kidding. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
yeah, we'll talk about it.
What about you, Steve? What you been up to?
I was just playing. You know, been playing a little bit of Valorant. And,
Valorant.
Apex on PC.
Yeah, Apex.
Yeah, not really too much. I've been trying to get back into Resident Evil 2, but keep forgetting.
Sorry, I
Keep
put my hand.
forgetting
on
to
my-
play it.
Wow, you mean forgetting? You're gonna watch. You're gonna take
Hey.
too long to come back to it, and then you're never gonna be able to finish it.
I'll finish it.
Hey.
By the end of the month, I'll finish it.
What's like the longest gap you've gone, like not finishing a game and then going back to finish it?
Never happened.
That never happens.
you
You
finish
so when
every
you
game.
take a break from a game, you're never touching it again, or you finish it.
It's
in one
hard to
sitting.
come back to.
But have you ever done that? Have you ever like said, "No, I don't want to play this"?
Not
and then come
without
back?
restarting it.
Now without restarting it, but
Yeah.
still, what's like the longest? Like I understand restarting it
Like a
That is
year.
a good question.
Like Fallout 4.
because I
was
feel like
the
that
longest.
happens. And you know what? I was about to say the same thing. Fallout 4 was like a thing for me. It was like a year or so before I went and said, you know what, I'm gonna beat the campaign at least.
Yeah.
Or the main quest line, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I want to say that was like a year and a half. Just
Oh,
about.
for me, it was definitely Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, no, definitely, because getting through that first,
Yeah.
rough few levels, just trying to figure out how to,
Yeah.
play the game.
Yeah.
Plus you die a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. Plus,
so
yeah, definitely, hurts your, what's that called?
Demoralizing.
demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I mean that's all fine.
Mhm.
Going off of that, what else have you been up to? Just Valorant and
Yeah, just
Apex. How do you like Apex right now on PC? How do you like it?
It's fun. It's just for me. It's just just trying to get more into the mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard.
I feel like when I was on controller, I was getting I was doing pretty good in games, getting at least like 6-8 kills a game. So and right now it's just like it's pretty tough, just to get a few kills. I'm just still trying to transfer over to the mouse and keyboard, but
yeah,
I mean it's still a lot of fun.
No, that's dope.
Honestly, it's weird because I've noticed that for me, I play better on Apex after I played a few matches on Valorant. If that makes sense.
Oh, like aiming practice. Or
yeah. Because I feel like on Valorant, aiming is a lot more crucial than on Apex.
A little bit more
Oh
twitchy.
yeah, totally. Especially like waiting to get your kills and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, I understand.
But Valorant's been pretty fun. Like I was telling you earlier, I've been playing a lot of competitive lately.
Yeah,
and it's kind of toxic.
It's kind of toxic.
People are pretty toxic.
You dredge those waters carefully.
It's funny. It's like I'm not sure it's because of my rank because I'm new and everything. Like it's all little kids. It's all little kids being toxic.
Yeah, totally. I was like listening to like this other podcast, this Castle Super Beast, and they were talking about toxicity and like games, and they made a good point. It was like if you want to get rid of your toxic fan base, make the game 18 and up only.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because it's pretty much these free to play games.
Yeah, free to play games because why? Like, you don't need to prove you're an adult to get it.
You don't need a.
Yeah,
you don't need a.
You don't need a parent to get it for you.
Buy money.
Yeah.
Buy money. You don't need to buy the game. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't have to see a single
money.
person at all. Yep, and it's just like mommy and daddy
Yeah.
buy me a gaming PC so I can say a bunch of naughty words
That's
to
why.
like strangers.
Yeah, I mean
because they're bad at shooting.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason why Fortnite blew up in the first place.
Yeah.
It was free to play.
Free to play.
And all those little kids are like, oh yeah,
Bullies.
poggers. Let's go.
Yeah, but how do you explain Minecraft then? Because Minecraft isn't free.
It's cheap though. That's
It's
the thing.
cheap.
It was
Yeah,
cheap.
it is
Especially
cheap.
when it first came out.
Yeah, it's like
It was dirt cheap. It was like $10, $15.
yeah. The Java edition.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's actually how I played it, was on Java. Because now it's Bedrock or whatever, the Windows Store version.
Yeah, because they don't have the Java version.
Yeah, and that version like $30 because it comes with all the Microsoft stuff. Blah blah blah. Oh, Xbox integration. Blah blah blah.
Ray tracing.
Ray tracing. But you can.
there's
the thing about the Java edition though, you can get ray tracing on it, so
Not
you
on
could do it
Xbox.
before. Like,
I know.
Did you know there's two different Xbox Minecraft versions?
Is it Xbox edition?
Yeah.
Xbox 360 or the Xbox One edition, and then just a regular Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean Minecraft one.
It's super weird.
That's
And the
so-
other one, you can't download the other one anymore. You have to the only way you can get it is through the physical copy.
the regular Minecraft version.
Oh,
No,
really?
the Xbox One edition, because that's what it says.
What
Minecraft Xbox One.
Why
edition.
was it Xbox One edition if you
Uh,
can't get it anymore?
So it was because the Xbox One edition came out when the Xbox One first came out,
Yeah.
and then I think later on, probably like a few years later on, Mojang finally decided to do their own version. 'Cause I don't think the Xbox One is Mojang.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's similar with the Switch version or not. because I played it on Switch actually, and by the way, it runs terribly on the Switch,
I-
but I still played it on the Switch
Mm.
because it was fun and like I know, and they had like the little Mario skins and all that. I was like, I'll try it, and I mean it. If you build too much, you notice like drop frames, all that stuff.
oh,
yeah.
It definitely struggles on like the later half of it if you're building up a Minecraft house and all that. But it's fine. I like the idea of playing it portable because it feels like a game like that I would enjoy more on a portable device because it's like I don't want to spend like 8 hours on it, just like an hour or two here. When I did play it.
Do you think it runs better than it would on a phone though, like an iPhone 12 or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen it on iPhone, but I'm sure the iPhone version is also well optimized.
Yeah.
So I imagine it runs fine. Like I said, it's fine. Like I had no problems until I was getting like loading up like really big levels and stuff like that. Then I was seeing a little bit of frame skipping and stuff like that. There was no drop in quality, obviously, in graphics because it's kind of hard to do that with Minecraft. But it was more like frame rate or like textures not really popping in right away. Like you wouldn't know what kind of block it was until like 2 seconds later.
Oh.
Have you guys ever finished Minecraft?
I have
Okay,
finished
like,
it.
beat
I
the
totally
Dragon?
watched a YouTube video how to do it.
I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Legitly though, without using any like codes or whatever cheats.
No, I didn't use any
No.
codes,
Okay.
but I totally did, and it was on PC that I did it on the Java edition. And I like me and one of my friends, we like went on YouTube and just watched how to beat it,
Yeah.
and we just did it.
You think you can do a speed run?
No, I do not want to do that because the Ender Dragon is a pain in the butt, and I'm not very good at it. So, but yeah, I have.
I've seen speed runs of them. They're pretty.
Yeah,
crazy.
What was the fastest? Do you know?
Well, because you have to like keep starting a new seed until you find a village.
Oh.
A village with like a bunch of hay, a bunch of beds.
Yeah.
Because you have to use the beds to kill
To
the
kill the Ender Dragon, yeah, use beds.
Because beds explode whenever you're in the what's it
Yeah.
called? In the
Underworld.
Then
Yeah,
Yeah, they're basically bombs.
What the
Mm.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it is weird, but yeah, that is the strat.
It's crazy.
But anyway, I guess going into what I did.
Yeah, well, you have. what
I
have you
also
been
played Village. I was
Oh,
surprised.
What?
Surprise! I beat it around the same time Shua did. I did go back to play it on hardcore, and then I kind of stopped because I wanted to play more Disco Elysium,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean it's kind of a good thing we didn't stream that game because it goes very off the rails as far as content. concerned.
Like in terms of like appropriateness.
Yeah, because it's weird. Like this game has a lot of weird moral choices.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you can go off the beaten path so far. Because a lot of like RPGs I notice like with dialogue and stuff like that, they kind of go no, but like oh you can't do that, so you should do this instead. This game is like no, keep going. Like point the gun at the kid. What do you want to do next? Like it kind of goes. It lets you go far.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
it's not like you want to even choose those things because you see it and you're like, I want to avoid that. So it's kind of a good thing we're not like streaming that, but it's super fun. It's a lot of text, a lot of reading and stuff like that. But it's really interesting. A lot of fun points added to it, and a lot of I don't know. I think it's cool that there's a game like this that's so fleshed out with content.
In terms of like branching paths.
Like branching paths, doing whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
Because I feel like RPGs, you can do what you want, but what you want is one of 5 things.
Right. It still pushes you in this.
Yeah, it's still like here's some side quests maybe, but with that game, it's like I want to know what the main quest is. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting. It's on PC. You can even get on PS.
What's the game called again?
Disco Elysium.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on PC. It's more or less like a top-down RPG.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I've seen the ads on that game.
Yeah. You're a cop that wakes up like in supposedly a drunk, like hangover kind of thing, and you met by a cop. His name's Kim, and he's saying, hey, like Are we gonna go investigate that like dead body that's hung in the back? And you're like, dead body? What are you talking about? And it kind of just goes off from there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I hear it's stupid long, so that's why I'm
That's
like,
good.
I kind of want to inch past it before I give up on it,
Yeah.
because that game seems super easy to give up on. So I want to beat that before, because I also got Near Replicant, and I want to play that, but I'm totally positive that I'm not gonna play it until I finish, or at least get close to finishing Disco Elysium. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Um, no Apex really for me this week. Sadly, I kind of want to play again soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We'll plan something.
we'll play again. But that's pretty much my week.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
Glad I could share that. Glad I could share that.
Yeah.
Anywho, I guess talk about like kind of the main topic. Kind of, I was talking to Steve a little bit earlier about this, and is kind of building off on, I want to say it was the last episode. We were talking about how game development is branching into new paths, primarily in the free to play market, games as service, etc., etc. Um, Steve was talking to me about which we'll talk about too. I guess we can talk about right now. World of Warcraft Classic.
Yeah, so the new
Burning Crusade.
Burning
I mean,
Crusade.
Steve could explain this better than me, honestly.
So, the Burning Crusade Classic is coming out June 1st. And so the Burning Crusade lets you level up from level 60 to level 70. So people were wondering how they were going to implement this in a way. And from my understanding, you can carry over your character. I think I was telling you wrong earlier. You can carry over your character, but you can't play on your classic server anymore. So you can only play on the Burning Crusade, right? And that's fine. I mean that's how it happened the first time. You know, you just carry on with the game. You just move on with the game, right? But some people they wanted to see if you want to hold your character, you have to pay an additional, I think it was $30 to duplicate your character, keep your character on the classic servers while also bring your character over to the Burning Crusade servers. And then they also implemented a deluxe version, where you're getting like mounts and mounts, just like the things you can ride around to move around quicker. And the Burning Crusade never had paid mounts, which is why people don't really like this right now. It also, I know it's just crazy how they're also wanting, if you want to duplicate your character and you don't want to move it over to the Burning Crusade servers, you have to just pay additional $35 on top of that, and it's like just a money grab at this point. But yeah, I don't know. That was just one, the Burning Crusade side of it, I guess. And yeah.
Are you gonna get it?
Oh, I'm still gonna play the Burning. I'm still gonna play the Burning Crusade, but it's just the fact that it's like, why are you? It's like they're splitting the community even more, because we were talking how the community is already split between the retail version, which is the game where it is now, with Shadowlands. That's what the current game. That's where it built up to where it is now, right? So that's the retail version, and then the classic version, the original game that came out a long time, 10, 15 years ago. And if you're saying that, oh, you're gonna go over to the Burning Crusade, and you could only be there, you can't be on both servers. It's like, what? It's like they're not letting the player have a choice to where they could be, or where their characters can be. Or if you can, you do have the choice, but you have to pay additional $35.
Right.
And don't forget, you're also paying $15 a month for this game. So yeah, it's just at this point, I don't know. It's just a bit of a money grab. For me, I don't really care about keeping a character on classic server, but it's still like this. I know people who love classic and they want to keep their classic character without, like, how you say, altering it. Because
What's the motive here? Like, are they trying to move players into like a new, like into the new game. Is pretty much
I don't know what the exact motive is actually.
besides money.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
clogging up servers, maybe with
It
like
could be.
multiple characters. Maybe because I mean I don't know technically
Mm.
how they run World of Warcraft on Blizzard. I have no idea. I'm not even close to
But at this
pretending.
point, it shouldn't
but-
even be an issue because I mean it's Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like-
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But I know a lot of game studios definitely allocate money to different things,
yeah.
and maybe servers isn't one of those things.
No, you're right.
So maybe that could be a reason why. Like I imagine World of Warcraft, like classic especially, is probably super huge and stuff like that. But I could also see Activision Blizzard being like, yeah, but Call of Duty needs money though to keep the Warzone servers going. You know,
Yeah.
so it could be possible that the reason why there's a fee to it is because it's like, well, we have to use these servers and servers cost money, et cetera, et cetera. So it could be that. I'm not trying to excuse. I'm not trying to be like an Activision bootleg or anything like that. But I could
Sounds like it from over
see.
here.
Yeah.
I could actually see
Mm-hmm.
why they would want to charge for that, like a reasonable thing, not because of like he money.
Yeah.
But it could be like a decision within like their systems team or something like, yeah, this is gonna be a lot of people we gotta migrate over, but also clone at the same time. So I don't know, but I could see maybe Activision or Blizzard not really putting a whole lot of money on the back end of WoW Classic.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I think the WoW community is just tired of these. They're not even microtransactions; they're macro transactions. So it's like it's ridiculous because I mean, there's like a shitload of store amounts, like just a lot of like money grab things. Like even if you want to transfer your character, that's like a $25.
Yeah.
Um, it's just insane. Oh, and then that also goes with what we were talking about earlier with New World. New World from Amazon, their MMO. Not even complete, not even out yet. And they're already planning on releasing an in-game shop for. At first, they were gonna release an in-game shop for cosmetics, and that's fine. I mean, cosmetics is fine; it's not a big deal. But now they announced that they're gonna release their in-game shop with XP boosts and fast travel and an MMO. Fast travel and an MMO is for behind a paid wall is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I definitely think I don't know. Like they're gonna get some flack behind this because that's ridiculous.
That's
Yeah, that so I guess building off on that is do you see other studios doing something like this with updated games and stuff like that, is like making necessity options cost money in a game? Like say, I don't know, new Madden, right? And it's like, oh, you want tournament mode? Well, that's $10 more.
But that's different though, right? Because you're already paying a subscription.
Yeah, you're already paying money, but I mean, you could argue the same thing, right? Like 6 months is like $60. Say that's how much Madden cost, right? Like $60. So if you're like, oh, you want that tournament mode, here's you gotta pay 10 more bucks.
Oh yeah, that.
Do you see that becoming a trend, or do you think this is kind of an isolated incident with MMOs specifically?
I don't know. It might be to a point where companies might try to test that out, try to test the waters to see how the reaction might be.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, it definitely wouldn't go through because it's like, why even? It's like, are you selling a full game in the first place?
True.
And it's like, why are you hiding content behind paywalls? And it's like,
Yeah.
is this? And at this point, is it DLC? But if
Yeah.
it's released with the game, then what is it?
Yeah, and it's no mystery too that games cost more to make these days, and yet we're still expected to pay the same price. I always hear that argument every couple like generations is like, Buying a game for the PS2 was like $60, and that's the same price it is now to buy a PS5 game. Some are 70 now. Some are saying, it's like we can't afford that. And to their credit, yes, I imagine games are expected more and more with graphical updates, etc., as well as probably more staff. Like God knows how many staff members worked on Demon Souls, um, to get that going. So I can imagine why prices go up with games. And honestly, I'm for it if it means the quality stays up with it. Like I have no problem paying 70, $80 for a video game if it's, fully fleshed out and I'm gonna get my money's worth for it and the employees making it are being paid enough to work on it. Because what?
Sorry,
No, because you see some things like Cyberpunk and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's like clearly they didn't have the resources they needed to keep going, and I would have much rather paid $80 for a game that was finished and polished and had enough like income while also making sure like the people making it were taken care of and weren't having to worry about being underpaid or understaffed. I'm all for that, and I'm not gonna excuse every game because some game studios are a little scummy with that kind of stuff with microtransactions, etc. But I feel like there's some games out there that are being made that are definitely that probably should charge more. Like Resident Evil Village is a good example, right? Resident Evil Village $60, right?
Yeah.
True, it's short, but when you think about what you can easily get 60 plus hours of entertainment out of that with just replaying the game like a few times in Mercenaries alone, easily.
Not to mention DLCs that are more than likely going to come out.
And those might cost money. And stuff like that. But like the base game in its own, there's so much in that game, and it's like it's crazy. That game costs the same amount as Resident Evil 4. And you're not saying Resident Evil 4 is bad or anything like that, but definitely the amount of detail and stuff that's put into that game. Not to mention the number of staff members, and I don't have the exact numbers with me, but I imagine there's way more people worked on Village than there were working on 4.
And RE4 costed $60 when it came out.
I thought it was $49.99.
Let me see.
Because there was a point where I remember games were like $49.99.
I remember when they were $39.99.
What game were you buying?
Code Veronica.
No, you were not alive to buy a copy of Code Veronica. We're not gonna even pretend to be. Let's see, GameCube game prices.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't over. It wasn't 60. Yeah, for sure it wasn't 60.
Yeah, argue your case.
Yeah, some games costed $50. Some games costed 60. It said.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I remember when I made the move to Xbox and games were $60. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
However, yeah, games totally ranged.
That's cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, games totally ranged, but I mean I digress. Inflation, all that too. When you think about it too, I'm sure.
Happening right now.
It's happening right now. The expectation on people, and I know some people are going to that whole free to play with cosmetics.
Yeah.
Because it just makes more money. Because it's what is it called, a lower level barrier of entry for the average consumer. It's like, oh, okay, I like this game, but I kind of want this character. Let me pay $10 and get them. Oh, I can just get all the characters for $40. Okay, let me just do that. And then next thing you know, they at least spend $60.
Which is a full game.
Yeah, and there are games that are also like $60 with DLC too. That I'm a culprit with Street Fighter 5. I bought the game when it came out. When was it? 2015? It's no 2016. I think it came out. $60 full price. Only had I I want to say 12 to 16 characters. Not even. It was not that many.
It's like a Call of Duty where they charge full price and then they make you pay more.
Yeah. And I bought
Love
like
Black Ops 4.
there's 5 season passes
Oh,
for Street Fighter
how much,
5.
how much did it cost?
And each one when they first came out was like $20
Oh,
a
what
pop.
the hell?
So that's $100 right there
Yeah.
by itself. And not to mention Street Fighter also went through things like different editions like as the game came out. So like Street Fighter 5 came out and then the Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition came out, which gave you the option if you wanted extra stuff to throw in more money, like costumes and stuff like that. And then, not to mention, they did that recently last year with what was called Champion Edition, and that was also I think if you had Street Fighter 5, it costed $20. And what it did, which was like, I was so mad, but I was like, I get it. It's like it came with seasons 1 through 4 in it for just $20. You know, mind you, all those season passes have been out for years anyway, so I wasn't like too mad because like, well, I get it. They're trying to get more people to play it. But also you got like all the costumes because there's cosmetics too with costumes in that game, and I of course bought the Champion Edition because I was like, I need to stay current with Street Fighter.
skins.
Yeah.
Plus, like I don't know, I just love Street Fighter. I
That's
have
fair.
I think now 3,000 hours in that game. So I definitely have my money's worth, if I say so myself. So I don't feel bad that I spent money on a game I like.
Right.
But I would feel bad if Street Fighter was like, hey, you don't get online matchmaking unless you give us $10. You know?
Like a subscription?
Like a subscription, yeah. Well, like any mode, it doesn't have to be online. But it could be like, oh, you don't get, training mode unless you give us $5. Then I would be kind of mad.
Yeah.
They're not withholding features. They are withholding characters, but you don't need all the characters to enjoy the game. Technically, they don't make it unfairly balanced that the DLC characters are better either or anything like that. Right now, like the best characters in the game are all part of the base roster.
Oh.
Like on a meta wise, so it definitely doesn't mean you need the DLC to be good at Street Fighter. So they give you a lot of opportunity to earn in-game money too. So you can unlock them too, but it definitely wore
It's
out
slow,
on me, and
right?
I was just like, here's $20, give me the
Yeah,
characters.
that's how they do it.
Yeah, that's how they do it, and I'm okay with that.
Mm.
I'm okay with that, and it doesn't bother me one bit. It's just when they're holding out modes that you have to give money for when you already spent money in the first place.
That's fair, yeah.
I think that's my only problem with it. Quality of life changes, cosmetics, and like optional characters are things I don't mind spending money on if I'm already enjoying the game. So that's my 2 cents, really.
That's why Apex is the perfect game. This is the perfect time,
Is it?
Well, I mean, okay, so free to play though gives you the chance to try it out.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, I mean, it's there, yeah, so you can
it's-
always have the opportunity to play it.
yeah,
Not just Apex, but like Valorant or
yeah, right.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
This
what
Team
else?
Fortress 2 now is free, right?
It's always
Yeah,
been
that
free.
game's
It's always
been
been free?
free for
Okay,
That's
good.
been free, yeah, for a long time.
Not in the orange box.
Yeah. Well, at least you got half on it, too.
They're actually gonna update Team Fortress 2.
What?
Yeah, Gabe, was it Newell? No. Gabe, what's his name?
I know what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
Valve guy.
The Bell guy, yeah, he said that they're gonna update Team Fortress 2 in like in a recent interview or meeting, whatever.
That's pretty big. It's been a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty good. But kind of interesting. I mean, I used to play Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But then but those kind of games though, you're paying money for only cosmetics, and it's not changing the fairness, and it's not changing.
No, it's not changing the like. It's not like you're giving an advantage or anything.
Yeah, or it's not changing the content that you receive
Yeah.
for the most part.
Mm.
I mean, like in Apex, you can argue that you're missing on the other characters. But really, too, it's kind of the same thing as Street Fighter. Like, the main roster is still very good. and you still get access to like every map and every BR or in every like arenas map and all that stuff. There's no, in fact, like sealing that off from other players would actually make that a worse game because matchmaking would take longer. Mm. But anyway, Apex.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting topic because I could see the game industry trending that way because games just cost more and more to make, and they gotta figure out ways to trick people into spending their money. You know, um, so I think that's like the only way. It's like maybe that's their way of like symbolizing. Oh, you like this feature? Well, guess what? It costs each of you like $10 for us to afford to do it.
Predatory.
You know, of course not. I imagine Amazon Studios probably has the money if they needed it to do it. But I can imagine smaller studio game companies like, you know, those indie titles like Hades and stuff like that, doing stuff like that because it's like you like this game, well, if you want it to be better, you should give us some money so that way we can do that for you. Because not every game studio has the luxury of doing a flat rate box because they don't know how many copies they're gonna sell. You
It's
know.
funny you mentioned that because that Ashes of Creation, they were releasing bundles or
Yeah.
packing packages. For this much money you get this.
Yeah.
Like this package, whatever. And for like a $500 donation or whatever, you get like the game, the game access for like pre-alpha or alpha, whatever, and so much more, right? And there's people online they're like, oh my god, like I can't believe they're actually selling out so much these packages for so much money. It's like you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy these packages to play the game. It's like I know we all want to play the game, but this is how they get their money.
This is a business,
This is how they get the money to to pay the developers, to pay their servers, whatever they need to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of gamers these days are pretty jaded about it, especially those under the age of 18 because they don't understand how businesses work, They have to keep the lights on so that way you can play your game.
They just poop out video games.
See, I don't know. Is that just the way that capitalism has taught us to think, though?
Yeah.
Because when you were saying how there's like a risk for the game companies to put out a game at a certain price and not know how much they're going to take in, right? But that's up to them to figure out how much they're going to make, and they're having their analysts figure out what the market is.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing you could be said for like movies, right? They spend so much amount of money. They have a budget for this movie.
Yeah.
And they allot it because they know
they're gonna beat that number.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it should be the same idea. Why are you gonna stretch your resources beyond what you can do? And so if I'm paying full price for a game, it should be the game, and I don't think it's beyond a consumer to expect that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I get that. I get like what I pay is what I should get. But how would you feel like say like Steve's example or whatever? Like the game didn't come with fast travel or whatever, just because you didn't want to spend that money, and no one wanted to, so no one gets it, so no one knows about it.
And I mean that's all advantage because obviously that gets you to places quicker, gets you like level you up quicker.
Yeah.
It's just you're right. I mean it's kind of bad to think about it.
Yeah. I mean the more I think about it though too is like I feel like game critics and game media and game players in general are very vocal about their opinions.
Yeah, of course.
And so when it comes to something like that, or even like loot boxes and everything, like loot boxes are starting to kind of phase out already.
Yeah.
In a way, or at least they're kind of becoming more balanced. And less about,
because of the whole gambling deal.
Right, and so I feel like if there's enough uproar and like people realize what it is, they're not gonna play it. Their whole market's gone, so Amazon's wasting their own money. And I mean, maybe it sucks if you're looking forward to the game or if you've already invested something towards it, but I don't know. I mean, it's up to us as the players and consumers to make responsible choices with our money.
Yeah.
But sometimes you could, it's the 12 or 13-year-old kid who has their mom's credit card.
That throws that money out at the studio just to keep it going.
Yeah, that's their fault though.
Yeah, true.
You're right.
True. And it's interesting because games is an international thing. It's not just America that makes video games.
Right.
Resident Evil Village was made in Japan. Cyberpunk was made in Poland.
Right.
So it's definitely a worldwide thing across every country is, trying to figure out how they can be sustainable while making video games.
Yeah, true.
Because the demand keeps going up, and then you hear terrible things like with Warzone, right? Because the demand's stupid crazy, and you hear Activision is destroying studios to keep the lights on over there. Like Toys for Bob, the people that made Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and all that.
Yeah.
You hear about that? All the developers getting sent over to work on Warzone.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So now they're not making games like they wanted to anymore. Like there's no more Spyros. Like hopefully you got what you wanted out of Spyro and Crash, because that's not happening anymore.
So feed the Call of Duty cow.
They had to feed Call of Duty, and you hear stories about that where it's like the demand's so crazy for these free games, quote unquote, and it's eating up other creative studios just to get that done because money.
Yeah, but the market's just always gonna be.
Yeah, the market's always gonna favor those kind of games, and like we talked about this I think our first or second podcast, where we were talking about how Call of Duty just comes out every year, and people buy it because that's what it's called. I can bet money that Call of Duty this year will probably be one of the top selling games of this year, easily.
We don't even know what.
I don't even know when it's gonna come out. I don't know what it's gonna be about. It could be, a terrible 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 game on IGN, and it will still
just thinking about it.
and it will still outsell any game you liked this year. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it will be for the foreseeable future. Let's take a quick break from our sponsors real quick. Our podcast is brought to you by Instacart. Who likes groceries? I like groceries. Are you just gonna do a sound effect?
Yeah, we'll do a pause.
Today's podcast brought to you by Instacart. Save on delivery fees on your first order of $35 or more with our affiliate link in the description of this episode. Please, if you're thinking about getting some groceries sent to your door, I know I like to use the feature a lot. It's super great. You just go on the app on your phone or use your laptop or whatever you like to use, and just go ahead and drop in what you're looking to get from whatever store. There's lots of options from Target to small little places like Save Mart, etc., etc. There's plenty of options, and what you can do is just pick what you need, get it sent to your door, and it's that easy. It takes no time, and you get to stay at home doing whatever you feel the need. Because I know I hate going to grocery stores, especially now, getting hot outside. I don't want to go to like a hot Walmart parking lot, walk in with my mask on, just to get a couple groceries. I will gladly just pay someone to go do that for me real quick, because
your mistake was shopping at
Walmart in the first place. Yeah, what are you doing at Walmart?
Either
or
a
grocery store.
Walmart's cheap, man.
Go to Costco.
Have you gone to like a modern grocery store, like Save Mart or Vons? Like they're so expensive.
They are. Well,
go.
Winco's far from here, man.
Less, Aldi. Yes,
yeah.
You do have
but
Aldi.
all these grocery stores that we all just mentioned are on Instacart, and you can use our affiliate link to order. So go ahead, click that link, make an account, save that money. Thank you, Instacart.
Thank you, Instacart. We just like to argue. Yes.
All right.
Do they hear the sound too, or no?
Yeah, I hear it.
No, do they hear it?
Oh yeah. They hear that.
This is the sound of you guys clicking that link.
Yeah, click that link
in
the description. But anywho, let's jump into the news.
What is on? We gotta get that in.
Oh, dude, yeah, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Yeah, that we'll put that on the soundboard soon enough. Let's get to it. News. First and foremost, who likes PlayStation 5s?
Who has one?
Raise your hand if you have one.
If you would like to get one, that's too bad because there's gonna be a shortage at least into 2022.
Whoa.
Sony says, according to an article with Forbes, which let me click on the link for us. You know what? Let's put it on the screen.
Yeah, let's put it on the screen.
Everybody should get to read this.
What the heck?
What's up? What happened?
My fiance just followed us.
What the heck?
Thank you for the follow.
Fake friend. No, I'm kidding.
So, according to Sony, I don't think demand is calming down this year. Even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PlayStation 5 next year, our supply wouldn't be able to catch up with demand. Sony's Hiroki Totoki told the analysts. Demand has always made the PlayStation 5 the fastest, has already made the PlayStation 5 the fastest selling console in history, but it would have put up even higher numbers had the supply been there. This comes to us from Forbes, by the way. Basically, talk about the chip shortage, semiconductor chips, to be specific. There's a big shortage of it because of the pandemic, and just because the demand's super high, everyone's at home, scalpers are crazy, etc., etc. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty much our news is kind of covered with that this week because we'll get into the next story. But yeah, it kind of sucks because I kind of like people are like, well, there's no good games on PlayStation 5. I feel like they shouldn't put good games on PlayStation 5 so people can actually get the console.
Yeah,
you know. I feel like that should be a start to let's let everyone get it and then put out the cool games. So I'm not mad that PlayStation 5 games aren't really coming out. Same with Xbox. Xbox is also dealing with a big shortage as well, and it's the same thing: semiconductors, scalpers, etc. And I feel like this is gonna be just the thing for a while. Like they said, 2022. I can see that happening for sure. I mean, this is nothing new though when you think about it. Well, the microchip thing is new, but shortages is pretty common. The Nintendo Wii was a big one. That one, I mean, I did a little bit of research, and yeah, that one was super short to get. You had to be lucky to find one.
Wasn't it PS3?
PS3 was also really hard to find as well. Yeah. Yeah, and it was funny too. People were like, no one's gonna buy a PS3. They cost so much, and then everyone wanted one.
You couldn't get one.
Yeah, and you couldn't even get one. So I mean, this is nothing new, to be honest. And it kind of sucks because this is just consumerism in a nutshell. Yeah. Demand's stupid high, and the supply will not meet the demand anytime soon. So, good luck if you're trying to find one. Keep your eyes on them Twitter pages because GameStop drops them here and there every so often.
Don't give in to the scalpers.
Don't give in to the scalpers. That's right. No $700 or whatever for a piece of plastic. Don't do it.
Have you guys browsed their store lately?
GameStop?
Yeah.
No.
They added so much stuff. It's like they added so much more stuff than they did before.
That's interesting.
Like they have a lot of PC stuff. They mining.
They sell parts?
Yeah, they sell PC parts. Yeah, they sell PC parts.
That's crazy.
People have been.
I feel no need to go. Yeah, I feel no need to go to a GameStop these days, but that seems about right that they're trying to get more people in. Moving on. Speaking of resellers, Target stopped selling Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And this is funny because I have seen this firsthand. I saw some people get into a little scuffle over some Pokemon cards at my local Target.
Those are mine.
You know what's interesting actually is I have a friend at a Target that works, and he said in the mornings that people will be waiting there.
Yeah.
To get the newest cards, not just Pokemon cards. Target has actually all.
Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, there's the story comes from New York Times. In-store sales of Pokemon trading card game packs, along with MLB, NFL, and NBA cards, were to be halted out of an abundance of caution on Friday, a Target spokesman said. The company did not elaborate what the decision or what threatened people's safety, but media reports have offered hints of unruly behavior among customers and long lines outside stores while waiting for restocks. The safety of our guests and our team is our top priority, the Target spokesman said in a statement. So, and Target's the first store to officially do this. Walmart is also probably not far behind. And, you can thank, people just opening Pokemon packs on streams and stuff like that. I think this is now this big boom of interest for it. And it kind of sucks because I know people that play the game, like play the trading card game. That's like legit play the game and probably want those cards. Or people that just like to collect them because they like them, not because they want to make money. But now it's turned into a cash grab thing.
And have you seen those booster packs? How much like the early ones cost?
Yeah,
they cost thousands and thousands.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And I get that the nostalgia thing, but it's the new packs like.
Well, it's not the nostalgia. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not the nostalgia for the new packs. It's also the fact that it's also the chance of getting like $100,000 Charizard card or something.
Yeah. It's like the rarity.
But it's like, for the new cards, it could also be the fact that you want to buy the packs and also hold them for a few years. But the fact that they might increase their value.
Yeah.
Further down the line.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks, because I know some people probably just want to collect cards because they like to, or whatever, and their hobbies kind of turned into a scalper's territory now. So, it is what it is.
Everywhere, man.
Scalpers everywhere, so kind of sucks. So I guess you gotta go to like a comic book store or something to get Pokemon cards. Who knows?
Maybe online.
Maybe like GameStop. Who knows? But
then, like at that point, you're probably gonna pay overpriced for what you're getting.
Yeah, totally, and and maybe that might be a good thing though. That like these big stores are stop selling it because it discourages like the quote unquote outsiders who are just trying to make money off of it. Get to it.
This article is saying that Target is starting to stop.
Yeah, specifically Target.
They're gonna stop doing that.
Yeah, there was talks about Walmart, but specifically Target. Walmart has not made any statement yet at this point in time, as of May 15th.
Well, I mean, if it's one of those things like, well, shit, I can't get them at Target anymore, then I have to go to Walmart, and then the whole way, the whole go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Do you think Walmart will later on make a statement saying, "Oh, we're probably gonna stop selling these too," and then later on, other stores stop selling, then it starts becoming a chain.
Yeah. I see that. I see that happening for sure. I definitely see that happening.
I mean, there's a risk to other people and, like a safety risk, over these cards. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
True.
Moving on. Like I said, slow news week. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, the latest expansion for Final Fantasy 14, gets a release date and a new trailer. For those that don't know, Final Fantasy 14 is the MMO RPG from the Final Fantasy series. It's insanely popular because I hear Square Enix listens to the people and the people who typically get what they want with this MMO. I played bits of it, not this one, not the Endwalker, but I played A Realm Reborn, which was like the first one.
Yeah.
And that one's super fun.
Yeah.
I got to the level cap for it, and I had a fun time. I just didn't feel like spending monthly subscription fee.
Well, it's free to play until then, right?
Yeah, it's free to play until like level 60, which is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time to get to level 60. So you definitely get to try it,
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. So that you definitely get to enjoy it, and then you can spend money.
What's the level cap?
60.
60, and you get to play up to 60?
You get to play up to 60 absolutely free, which is like up
That's
through
pretty
the
good.
first expansion.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's super good. So
I think WoW only has up to level 20.
Yeah. So it's super worth the try if you want to try it. It's fun, like I said. I just felt like I wouldn't be justified in putting enough time every week or so to pay that price every month. But I know people that do. It's like $10 a month. I think.
$10 a month?
Yeah, I think it's like $10 a month. I could be wrong. It could have gone up. Let me see. But the Endwalker.
He's man. Final Fantasy 14. Subscription. Yeah.
How
much is a monthly?
Private page. Let's see. Oh, Mac OS. That's cool.
Cool.
Doesn't say. $12.99. It went up. $12.99.
Oh shit. For entry, right?
Entry, and then it fluctuates. Subscription like 30 days, $14.99.
Well, you get max 8 characters
Yeah.
with the entry, and then standard 40.
Okay, that's not bad though. I mean, like I said, it's super good. I just didn't want to stick with it.
Yeah.
But Endwalker is the latest. They announced it at the Digital Final Fantasy 14 Fest. Looks pretty good. People should pay attention to Final Fantasy 14 because Yoshida, Naoki Yoshida, is also working on 16. So I think he's the director or producer for it.
Oh, shit.
So a lot of stuff from this game is inspired for 16. Like the fantasy era of this is pretty much spot on with 16 is. So I mean that's a good thing though that it's Yoshi P. That is what they call him. So it looks cool. They announced new classes, the Viera, the male Viera, which is like the bunny. You might have seen Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, the bunny shit.
But now there's a guy version of it. So that's like the new race, I think. And then they added the Reaper class, which a healer who can attack and heal using flying mechanical knives. So super cool stuff. I might jump back in. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe Steve doesn't like WoW.
Yeah. In fact,
that's a big if.
If you wanted to try it, I'd try it with you.
Yeah, it's free.
Sure.
Like I said, it's free. It's
Yeah, that's
not
true.
like
I mean, I'll download it. Okay, it's free.
It costs no money, so I mean, if you don't like it, just uninstall it. So, and this kind of goes, I guess, a little bit with what we were talking about earlier with the free to play, but you gotta spend money if you want to keep playing.
Yeah.
I think this is a good compromise of like you get almost a full experience for free. And if you want more, there's more, but you gotta spend a little money.
But then you're done when you're done.
But if you're done, you're done. You know what I mean? And then you wipe your hands clean. Like say you play a month, you're like, yeah, that's not for me. Well, you only waste like $12,
Yeah.
So there's that. And then final piece of news. Wild Burning Crusade stuff.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we already kind of talked about it. Character cloning being $35. Fans weren't happy.
Right.
Blizzard went back, said, "Psych, $15."
Still bad.
Still kind of bad, but I mean, at least they. And then you have the deluxe edition with paid mounts, level boost, and other cosmetics. June 1st is when it comes out, so about 2 weeks from now. So, I mean, I guess we'll get the verdict from Steve when it comes out. If it's
good.
A bust, or
it's already good.
It's already good.
It's already good.
Yeah.
Then that is what it is.
You're like, I already spent all my money on it.
Yeah, like people are like, where is Steve on the channel? I was like,
Big God.
he's playing WoW. We should just put a webcam on him. Like he's here, guys.
That's fair.
But that's pretty much all I had for news. Does anybody else have anything before we're about at the hour mark, which I did really good with time.
Pretty good actually, yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything. No.
Anything you guys gonna be playing soon?
Yeah. Oh, we should talk about we should talk about what's going on with me and Shua. So we tried to play. So we tried to play. So, I mean, by the time you probably listen to this, you might already know. Who knows? But we tried to play Metal Gear Solid 3.
Put out the poll.
Big emphasis on try. And to be fair, we played.
What happened?
So okay, I downloaded the HD version, the HD collection version, which I heard is a good version because it's made by Bluepoint, people who made Demon Souls remake and Shadow of the Colossus, etc. etc. So pretty good studio to do this with, and we booted up Metal Gear Solid 3. Mind you, the game's super cutscene heavy in the beginning. About like the first half hour, we didn't really play.
Really?
Yeah, we were just talking.
We're just kind of talking, which is fine. We knew that.
Yeah.
We're prepared for that. But it's when we started playing the game, and Shua was like, "Hey, according to this guy, you could do this," and I'm like, "No, I can't." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I can't do what you're telling me to do." Example was like, "Oh, if you hold aim and put your gun out and press the A button, he'll tell the guard to freeze." And I kept trying it, and nothing happened.
Which is a staple of like Metal Gear Solid, right? Unless you just can't do it with the tranquilizer gun, but it didn't make sense. I don't know. There were a lot of things just like that though, and I think we've gotten so accustomed to modern games, and it was just really hard to go back to.
Yeah, and not to mention, just we died a bunch, and we couldn't get through the first area.
Yeah.
And we're just like, let's not. Let's just not, because I watched the footage. It wasn't good. It wasn't like funny, like haha, we're messing up. It was just like we're just stuck. And what we wanted to do, we couldn't really do. It's not. We could have went forward, but it wouldn't have been pretty.
It would have been brute forcing.
Yeah, it definitely. We wouldn't have gotten what we wanted from that playthrough. So that one's gonna be put on the back burner at least until now. So now we're playing Bayonetta. Which also had some technical difficulties, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
What are you guys playing it on?
Playing on Xbox. It's the 360 version.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait,
no.
No. That is true.
No.
I just want to.
It's just a copy of it. Yeah. No, it's not Game Pass. So
it's like the 360, right?
It's the 360 version. No, it's fine. It's super fun, super stylish, and all that. And I think it's gonna work a lot better in the long run. So look out for that, Bayonetta. It's hard to come off of Silent Hill 2 because Silent Hill 2 is
a rocker
doing numbers, especially that finale. I wasn't even sure. I was like hour and a half season finale or series finale, and as of now, it's our best performing video on YouTube since reboot. So I don't know.
I guess our genre is survival horror.
Yeah. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see how Bayo does.
I've been wanting to try Dying Light. I still haven't tried Dying Light.
Dying Light?
Yeah.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I have it. We have it.
Yeah. That could be on the channel sometime.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what's to look forward to. At least Bayonetta. Definitely Resident Evil Village stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue that for sure.
Yeah,
I do definitely want to.
Steve is playing that. I guess now we could talk about Resident Evil Village too. Actually, I guess we can just like briefly talk about it.
Yeah, not too much. Yeah.
Yeah, not too much.
Not too much.
So
So if you don't want to hear anything about Resident Evil Village and you're still listening, go ahead and tune off. Don't forget to use the Instacart link. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
You have 3 seconds to leave.
1, 2,
3. And Resident Evil Village talk starts now. This won't be.
Dojo loud.
So yeah, Village is good. Village is good. It is what I wanted in Resident Evil since 4. Honestly, I feel like it's a good mixture of scary meets action meets survival, and it's just a happy combination. I think the pacing's really good. It doesn't feel too slow, doesn't feel too fast. It feels just right, and there's not a lot of bad I could say. I think the only bad thing I can really say is that I wish some of the earlier guns were a little more fun to use and worth keeping in the long run. I think the earlier guns aren't very incentivized to keep, especially after you get some upgrades down the road.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you said that actually because because Resident Evil 4 is obviously where their inspiration comes from, or a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like a lot of the earlier guns in Resident Evil 4 were able to like continue to be used. You know, there was a reason for it. Like one of them could pierce through multiple people. One of them could shoot faster, but didn't do as much damage. Like there were little perks, right, for each one. I feel like that wasn't so much the case in this game. Like it kind of
yeah. Village is definitely like you hit a point and all the guns can be replaced by better guns, and there's no reason to keep the old guns unless you want like quicker reloads. You know.
Yeah. Is there a storage or is there no storage?
There is no storage, so you have to carry everything. It's just like 4.
Yeah.
Where like you gotta lose it if you don't want it anymore.
Use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it, really.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's interesting how from 7 to 8 they went from the retro style with the what's it called, loot box,
the box, the storage bin,
loot box, and then 8 with the attaché case kind of deal.
Yeah.
But I agree though, 8 by far though is the best blend since 4 of like that horror and that actiony, you know, shooting stuff, and the guns feel really great actually.
Yeah, the later guns feel good.
Yeah.
Like this, like the sniper, great.
Yeah.
Probably the sniper and the shotgun, super good. So what do you think about? Anyway, what do you think about Village though?
I don't know. I said that bit of it, and then also the replayability is nice. I mean, I'm still going through the second half, and I'm still into it. There's easy normal, there's hardcore, which is just a little bit tougher, and then there's also Village of Shadows mode where it mixes it up and kind of moves the enemy placement around and some of the key items, I believe. I don't know though. I have mixed feelings about it narratively, but we can't really get into that too much.
What do you think of the tall lady?
Oh, mom,
lady,
mommy,
Demetrius,
vampire mommy.
Yeah, you know what? She I don't think I like her as much as Mr. X from Resident Evil 2. Which you would know if you finished it. But
sorry.
very good though. Very good character design overall, I believe. Like from and you've gone through that scene where you see like every one of those like lords, right? Where you see
everyone like when they first capture you, right?
Like the trio kind of deal.
Yeah. Heisenberg.
Right.
Heisenberg, yeah.
Yeah, they're all really
good.
well made, and just the environment is so pretty, and playing it on the Xbox with the ray tracing on, and mind you too with the Xbox, it says like the 45 is the frame per second cap, or rather that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
But that's just it's unlocked. Most of the time it's running at like 55, 60.
Okay.
Yeah, it ran on 60 on the regular X too.
The One X.
Yeah.
But with the ray tracing on.
Oh no, there's no ray tracing.
Right, and like I expected it to be a lot slower, but it was very nice. I think it's like one of the first like really like next gen games. That was brand new. That wasn't a remake. You know, I guess you could argue Miles Morales, but even that was based like built upon Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man. But yeah. Overall, maybe like a 3 or an 8 out of 10.
I would say a 3 out of 10. Damn.
Like, this game's trash.
Maybe an 8.5. Zack, right though, it is really well paced, and there's one part that we can talk about later, but
yeah.
No spoilers.
Okay, right.
I would say, another problem I might have with the game, and this is like a minor thing, is exploration, and they do this in every Resident Evil game, but exploration is like diminishes the more you get through the game. Like I felt like near the end it was like there's some stuff, but it's more or less a hallway,
Yeah.
like especially like the last area, I felt like exploration was at an all-time like low for the whole experience.
Yeah.
Especially coming from the first part with the Lady D Castle, that part, like, you want to look at every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
I felt like the last part, it was almost like, there's a couple things, but not a whole lot, because a lot of it was stuff you had to pick up anyway.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw stuff on the side no matter what. So it wasn't like, oh, well, this is nice to see or something like that. It was a lot of just like, get through it, get out. You know.
It's very guided, right?
Very guided experience, very hallway, and they do this in every Resident Evil. Like 7 was no exception.
Right.
I think 8 does a better job of not having a hard drop off point and interestingness to it, as opposed to 8 or 7. Because 7, I felt like when you got to the boat, it was a completely different experience. Like the mansion, outstanding. If the whole game was in that mansion, it would have been perfect.
Right.
Game, definitely like 10 out of 10 experience. But the moment you leave that mansion, it's like it drops off. It's like the momentum goes away. Yeah. They get too ambitious with the combat because the combat's not that good in 7. Because I don't know, I went back to try 7 out. Like this shooting feels terrible.
Yeah,
and so and like the monsters are terrible. Like they fixed everything they could from 7 to 8. Like they added monster variety, better exploration, more outstanding cast of characters, gave Ethan a personality.
Right.
Because Ethan was just like, "Where's my wife?" You know, and like he got his wife, and he's like, "Oh fuck, never mind, let me go home." You know, this game is a lot more like he's interesting and he wants to learn about this world with you, and it feels much more fleshed out than 7 did, at least for me. So yeah, it's a really good game. I definitely see myself playing this for years to come, like just revisiting.
Yeah.
So I definitely am happy with this, and I look forward to what the future has for the series.
Best game since what?
Best game since I mean 7 wasn't bad. That's the thing. 7 was a right step forward.
What do you prefer?
7 to 8? Oh, 8's way better. Of course. I think that this is probably the best game since 2 Remake.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. And like I think 3 was a little bit a step down from 2 Remake.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still fine. But I mean, definitely Capcom's on the up and up. Like they've definitely not had a lot of misses. 3 isn't even a miss. I think 3 is better than 7. Like 3 Remake's better than 7. I think.
Yeah, they're figuring it out.
They're definitely figuring it out, and they're hitting momentum now.
Well, you know what's interesting though is at the same time they're releasing Resident Evil 3. What is it called? Was it Nightmares or whatever it's called? The side multiplayer?
Oh,
Resistance. Yeah, Resistance as well as this next one, RE-verse, right?
RE-verse, yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just a mixed bag of like they're just...
Yeah, and I think that's just them trying to make quick money, and that might just be like their way of like, let's try something else just to see if we can get in with some more, of the kids.
Yeah, I mean they're giving it to us with the game.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I had no problem paying $60 for 3, just like I had no problem paying $60 for 8. So, good game.
Good game.
Steve, what do you think so far? You are 2 hours in.
2 hours in, yeah. It was pretty fun. Like you said, it didn't feel like it was slow or anything. It was. I didn't feel like I felt like with 7, it was like I wanted to look at every nook and cranny. And this one it was. I guess there was like a lot of things going on. Like I didn't feel like there was any like there was a dull moment. I felt like there was also like, I mean, other than just walking through the path, but obviously it's like you have to get those to get through the game. But other than that, that led to an action happening. Like the transitions to each zone. Like I didn't even notice that the big giant dude with the hammer. Like I didn't even notice that fighting him led into that other big zone with that would I had to go to what was that chick's? I never forget names. I always forget names.
Oh, the house where
everyone is.
Oh yeah, Louisa's.
Yeah, Louisa's. Yeah. So I don't know. It was pretty crazy. How that whole fight turned out. Yeah. It was pretty intense.
And it's not so much a spoiler, but as the game goes on, it kind of like unravels the village for you. It's really cool how it happens, but experience it.
And I was telling Steve, it's very similar to Dark Souls, and how like everything opens up, and you're like, oh, that's what that door does. That's where that door takes me to. Oh, okay, so that's a shortcut now.
You're
okay,
right.
that's good to know. They do that a lot, especially with the village part, and I think that's super, super well thought out. I think that's just good level design. and I think that was missing in 7. And you can even argue that even 3 didn't really have that good level design either.
Yeah, especially beyond the city.
Yeah, like the hospital. Oh my gosh, that was such a pain to walk through.
Yeah.
You know, and I think 2 is good, but it's hard because 2 is literally a true 2 successor.
Yeah.
So I can't really call 2 like a good example because like it doesn't really count.
It was already set up.
Yeah, it was already. Yeah, the bones were already there. You know, 7's really where it was, and 7 wasn't that good outside of the mansion. The mansion was great, level layout especially. But when you left that mansion, oh my god, the boat was terrible, the mines were terrible. So 8's just really good all around with that level design.
Yeah, everything's gorgeous too, I will say. I gotta say it again. It looks so pretty.
So good. And I think it will age better with time.
I would have thought that you would have got it on PS4. I mean PS5.
Yeah, I mean, I think because just Shua wanted to split it, so that's why.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I definitely probably will buy this. If not on PC, yeah, definitely PS5.
Yeah.
Play it that way.
Yeah.
PC, I might try it because of the mods and stuff like that. I want to see what people do. You know, I saw the Barney one. That was.
Oh yeah, so good.
I know. I was like, I really want to try that. So maybe, who knows? But definitely worth. I would definitely buy again. So we'll see. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about spoiler heavy when Steve finishes.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. We could just do our own Resident Evil spoiler cast like we did with 7. One last thing, Chris looks so much better.
Oh yeah. They redid him again.
Yeah, redid him again, and this time hopefully for good because he looks what I would think Chris would look like after 5.
After 5 at least, yeah.
Yeah.
He's beyond 1 and Code Veronica by now.
Yeah, I prefer the 5 version.
Yeah.
And I know that's unpopular. I prefer 5 to 1 because I feel like 1 he just looks like some dude. You know.
Yeah, true.
He's not very interesting to look at. Like if you put like Chris next to 5 other similar white guys, you'd be like, I don't know which one's which. But like Chris at 5, like yeah, he's a meathead.
Well, wasn't that kind of like the point of like the early games? Of, like these were kind of just people that kind of just encountered.
Well, they were cops.
Well, I mean, but Leon was a cop that was. You know, he was transferring or he got a new job at Raccoon City.
And Claire,
And Claire, yeah.
Yeah, but at least Claire and Leon look like super cool, you know?
Super cool.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah, they're super like, you know, they have like really cool like character design and stuff like that. Yeah, they're very memorable. Like you know what Leon looks like in the back of your head. You know what Claire looks like in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't really draw a picture of Chris from Resident Evil 1 for you. But at least 5, he's memorable looking, you know.
I think he's better in 6.
You think he's better in 6? I mean, 6 to 5 isn't that much different. Yeah. But 7 was like, I don't even know what they like when he's like, my name's like Redfield. I was like, he must be like Chris's like brother.
You know what? It must have just been them having to redo him in the new engine.
Yeah, and now that they have the RE engine figured out, maybe. Yeah. Which like I said, this is good, Chris. I like this Chris.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not. This isn't much of a spoiler, but you do see Chris again in Village. Like him shooting up your wife. Is that the only time you see him? Yeah. He's such a good character in this game. Like he actually has like lines that are pretty good. Like him explaining stuff and like him just like being a character. Because I feel like 5, he was just kind of like, I miss Jill.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to find it.
Sheva. You know?
Yeah.
Come on. You know? And it was like, I like Chris, but I feel like he's so much better in this, and I look forward to him being in future games.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then another small spoiler, there's no Leon or anything like that. Do you think Leon should be in future Resident Evil?
Are you going to spoil that for Steve?
Spoiler, Steve, Leon is not an 8.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, you just said it right now.
Yeah, there's no secret.
Well, Claire is going to be in it later, okay?
There's what?
You just...
Stop gaslighting.
Oh, wow.
I just want to
Yeah.
So, yeah, Chris is the only one from the original series.
Like Mila Jovovich.
That's
the later games.
Alice.
I would give up on the series.
Yeah, so I I think because Leon, it would make sense first and foremost for Leon to be there.
Oh yeah. Well, you know
what?
what?
Nothing to do with the president or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the president's dead.
Well,
there's a new president, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he should get fired, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got bad at his job, but you know, Ashley aside.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But Ada was about to be in it.
Yeah, she was an art in it, and I get why they wouldn't put her because it's like why.
It would have to explain so much.
Yeah, why? Who is she working for?
Yeah.
Yada yada. So it makes sense that she wouldn't be in it. So. I mean, I don't mind because Chris makes the most sense out of all of them. Maybe Jill, but they kind of went off the rocker with Jill, and they're probably like, we need to tone her back a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially after 5, So we'll see. But yeah, I just want to say that Chris is really good. I'm happy that he's in the game as a Chris Redfield fan. Good job, Capcom. You got him right. You got him right. Took you a while. So that's all. Now that's everything for the podcast.
Yeah, I think I am.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, I'm done.
Go. Well,
pretty good.
Thank you for listening. I've been Zach.
I've been Shua.
I've been Steve.
And Cedar later.
Stop. No, keep going though.